online and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
A lot of people loved him. A lot of people cared about him. And, you know, for the family especially, it's something that I think someone coming forward and giving them that closure is so important.
Community members say they can't get any closure until the driver who killed a 21-year-old is arrested. Tonight, a prayer service was held in Wahpeton, where the victim is from.
Valley News Team's Joshua Peguero joins us live with details on this tragic hit-and-run crash. Joshua?
Mike and Andrea, behind me is the agency that's in charge of investigating the death of Tyler Wohlers. He was killed after he was killed along a state highway after he tripped and fell. And witnesses say the car did not stop, continued driving. Evan McCall was dressed Wednesday for a prayer service honoring his longtime friend Tyler Wohlers. Both coached hockey together in Wahpeton.
He always gave 110%. He was a guy that would go out there and do anything to help his team win.
McCall says he felt sick to his stomach when he heard of Tyler's death.
Tyler was a son, a brother, a friend, and you know, I can't speak for the family, but you got a family that just lost somebody and they're grieving, and I think for now it's just a matter of closure.
Which can't happen as long as the driver who killed him is on the loose. Minnesota State Patrol is looking for any tips or leads.
We just stay on top of it as far as the investigation purposes and things like that, looking for leads, breaks, evidence gathering, all those types of things, clues, anything that may lead to, you know, the facts of what happened in this type of crash. So
troopers say it's been tough to ID the driver and the car because the accident happened in the middle of the night near the city of Otter Tail. Two people who witnessed the hit and run say the car was a white or silver sedan, similar to a Chevrolet Cavalier. Troopers say the car will have front-end damage and a fluid leak. At this time, authorities aren't sure if a reward will be offered. Minnesota State Patrol is saying any tips that they receive will remain anonymous. And again, if you saw anything or if you hear anything in regards to this deadly hit and run, give them a call. Live in Moorhead, Joshua Peguero, Valley News Live.
All right, thank you, Joshua. The burial for Tyler Wohlers will be held tomorrow, 11 a.m. at St. John's Catholic Church in Wahpeton. And here's the phone number for the Minnesota State Patrol if you have any information on this case. It's 218-846-8244.
A felon who escaped from jail in Bismarck is now in the custody of police. The Highway Patrol says 35-year-old David Joseph Gray walked away from a minimum security jail in Bismarck on Monday. Gray is serving a sentence for possession of meth with intent to deliver. He isn't supposed to be out until 2021. Authorities arrested Gray in Wahpeton this evening.
A 59-year-old driver of a car was injured, taken to a hospital tonight. Authorities say the 1998 Pontiac Bonneville was traveling eastbound on Highway 10 near Lake Park when it left the roadway and became airborne. The vehicle traveled 90 feet before landing on the shoulder of the highway. Keith Allen Hates of Hawley was injured, but authorities say the injuries were not life-threatening. That crash happened just after 6.
Authorities are reminding you to pay attention on the road. This after a pair of semi-trailer tires came off on I-94 this afternoon. It happened about 10 miles east of Moorhead. An investigator tells us that the freeway median barrier played a role in keeping the tires from rolling into oncoming traffic. No one was injured.
Storm damage can end up costing you big money if you aren't careful. Local contractors say the high winds mixed with buckets of rain can spell disaster for your roof. Sideways rain can force water underneath the shingles or even blow off shingles altogether. Contractors say now's the time to check your attic or use a ladder to take a look at your roof and make sure nothing is out of place.
That water can be so detrimental and damaging to everything it touches, from your insulation, your drywall, your wall, everything. So, I mean, the more water you're going to get in, if you wait longer, you got a missing shingle, you may not notice it now, but that water can build up. And then next thing you know, you're going to have to replace all your insulation in your roof.
If you do notice that there is a leak in your home or missing shingles, it's recommended that you call a licensed contractor.
An update tonight on a woman who was left with a gaping hole in her roof and water flooding into her home. Renee Mund told us someone from her insurance company came out 4 days after she first reported the damage around July 3rd, and she had been waiting for action ever since. So we called the insurance company and told them about the conditions. The company, American Modern Insurance Group, said they weren't aware it had gotten that bad. And now, just one day later, Mund tells us the company is taking care of more than just her home, also reimbursing her for any additional expenses throughout this ordeal.
Recent severe thunderstorms have left a mess in parts of the valley, and the cleanup has been slow going.
Valley News Team's Callie Hubbard talked with those in charge about the seemingly never-ending work.
It's debris piles like these that keep on building up, and neighbors I spoke with today say it's getting a little out of hand. And the word from those in charge of the cleanup isn't what most want to hear.
Be patient and understand that there's a high volume that we're dealing with here as far as just getting cleaned up.
That high volume dates back to late June when the first big storm made the first of several messes to come.
Well, obviously there's a lot of branches lying around that have been here for, I don't know, probably about a week, a little over maybe.
They kind of go all over the grass, and I thought people would come pick them up way earlier so they wouldn't keep piling up.
And it's going to take a while to get those piles picked up. In Fargo, it could take a month, even with additional crews. But for some Fargo residents like Bob Nestos, who sees the city firsthand on his bike, he's not too worried.
So it's not as bad as it was last week?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
What can you do in the meantime? Well, people living in this neighborhood along 25th Street South in Fargo say everyone's pretty neighborly. They say if they see limbs like this in their neighbors' yards, they'll go and pick them up for them. And in the meantime, you can take the matters into your own hands and take these tree branches to the local landfill free of charge, and that is year-round. Reporting live in South Fargo, Callie Hubbard, Valley News Live.
All right, thanks, Callie. For more information from the Fargo Forestry Department, head to our website, valleynewslive.com.
North Dakota's third medical marijuana dispensary is ready to go. Harvest is the name of the company. It's in Williston. That'll open on Friday. Another dispensary, this one in Bismarck, is expected to open next in line. It'll be the fourth of 8 planned in the state. Fargo and Grand Forks already have dispensaries. The North Dakota State Pardon Advisory Board says it will allow people convicted of minor marijuana crimes to have their records expunged, and people who have stayed clean for 5 years can apply to have the conviction wiped from their records. They would have to fill out applications on the Parole Advisory Board's website. North Dakota Attorney General Wayne Stenjum says about 175,000 convictions could become eligible.
There's a new kind of coaching for your kids that's gaining traction. It involves someone coming into your home and teaching your kids how to live without their cell phones.
Tonight, Valley News Team's Melanie Palmer talks with local parents to see what they think about this idea and tells us how much money people are shelling out for these coaches.
Imagine your life without a cell phone. For families like the Kehoes, it's not that hard.
Never give them a cell phone.
Alicia Kehoe is a mother of 2, and she calls herself old school when it comes to allowing her kids to use technology like tablets and phones.
The tablet that they had over there, it's got a 3-hour time limit, and then when it's turned off, it's turned off.
And they plan on keeping their kids focused off of screens until a lot further down the road. But that isn't the case for everyone. In fact, there's a growing trend of parents hiring coaches to teach their kids how to live phone-free.
If it was my kid, I think I would handle it myself.
I don't know that a coach is really necessary. I think there's things that parents can do.
Shelley Becker has 2 kids of her own, a 13 and a 15-year-old. And as you can imagine, they like to use their phones just like other kids their age. But she tells us, as a parent, there are things you can do on your own to make sure your child gets a little break from the technology.
When they have school, they have to turn their phone in at a certain time at night.
And get this, some of these coaches don't come cheap.
So some of these cost up to $250 too.
Which? I would do it for free myself.
I can think of a lot better ways to spend my money.
Now, these coaches typically show your kids other activities they can do, like playing or painting. But for families like the Kehoes, they already have that covered.
We play puzzles, imaginary games. They play with each other more often than not. I don't really like my kids sitting on a tablet all day.
And that's why they don't plan on getting one of these coaches anytime soon. In Fargo, Melanie Palmer, Valley News Live.
These coaches are also looked at as consultants. They also make suggestions on lifestyle changes for kids, like getting an animal that children can spend time with.
Great Plains Food Bank is taking meals to rural communities through what's called the Pop-Up Perishable Food Program. Today it stopped in Beulah, North Dakota at New Life Worship Center and served 124 households.
Sometimes people need a helping hand, and the food's just going to expire anyway. So if we can find people that can use it, volunteer an afternoon.
The next stop will be in Carrington on July 23rd and in Center in September.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with no wait weather.
And our skies much quieter than they were last night at this time. A view from our Dakota Magic Casino cam there at I-29 and Exit 1 in North Dakota. Gorgeous setting sun, beautiful colors in the sky, and that wind settling down as well. Right now, a look at the peak wind gusts we saw today here through the Red River Valley. Mid-40s in miles per hour. Cooperstown in that same boat. Lakes country, well, look at Detroit Lakes. 40-mile-per-hour gusts. A little bit less were the wind gusts in the trees of central Minnesota. Right now, 68 at Hector. We have winds that are at 5 miles per hour from the north-northwest. Much quieter out there as we head into our overnight. We have mid-60s across much of western Minnesota and the eastern third of North Dakota. A few upper 60s out there, including Grand Forks and Jamestown. Spotty sprinkles still showing up on the radar, but not likely all of them reaching the ground as we've cleared out. Here's another look at those flood warnings we had for you at the top of the show. And essentially, we're experiencing or expecting minor flooding for that Maple River until we get up near Mapleton. Then moderate flooding as expected there. Harwood also could see some moderate flooding. And that Buffalo River there near Dilworth, also minor flooding, as will the Red here in Fargo for the next few days. So keep that in mind. And temperatures tonight will slip down into the 50s for many of us. 60 south. Patchy fog will be probable in areas that are fairly soggy from the rains. That includes the southern Red River Valley into northwest Minnesota. So watch for that. And clear skies to start our day, and the first half of the day absolutely gorgeous. Not much wind on your Thursday morning. Now, we do have a weather system that will be pushing through tomorrow afternoon, and we will have a chance of some showers and thunderstorms as the wind picks up from the south. We'll see winds around 15 miles per hour, and up here in the Northern Valley, our model is showing some yellow arrows. That would mean gusts over 20 miles per hour possible. Best chance for thunderstorms will mainly be north of Highway 2 for our Thursday afternoon and evening as they move their way toward the Lake of the Woods area. But really anywhere along this boundary or front, we could see a few showers and storms, and they could be on the strong to severe side thanks to, well, it's just that time of year with the heat and humidity. 56 to start your day in Fargo. Now look at this. We'll be near 80 all the way from the midday hour into the late evening. Under mostly clear skies here, our chances in Fargo for any precipitation will be quite low. Most of that will take place up north. 82 tomorrow afternoon in Langdon and in Roseau. 80 for Fergus Falls. Wahpeton, 81 degrees, and it looks like 86 sizzling degrees for Jamestown. And boy, has it gotten soggy across the valley the last few days. Kathy sharing this photo of newfound water on the property there south of Horace. And wow, look at those growing cumulus clouds in the background. Thanks, Kathy. Friday, more storms, closer to 80 degrees as we cool off a pinch behind that cold front. Then Friday and Saturday, we heat it right back up. A good chance of spotty showers and thunderstorms to scattered storms for the weekend ahead. Woo-wee! We're talking 92 degrees on Monday. That's hot, and the storm chances continue as well. Most days will have at least a chance.
Yeah, because we need some time to dry out.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, thanks, Ed.
Yep.
Up next on Valley News Live.